You can use the QuickBooks pipe to sync your invoices and customers between Tadabase and QuickBooks. To get started, navigate to the pipe section and install the QuickBooks pipe. Click Authorize and Install. You will then be prompted to enter your company ID. To find your company ID, log into your QuickBooks account. Then navigate to Settings, Account and Settings, and it may take a minute for this page to load, but once you see Billing and Subscription, navigate to Billing and Subscription, and your company ID will be displayed on top. Copy and paste this number into the dialog box. Make sure to remove any spaces. Then click Authorize and Install. In the Data Builder, I have an Invoices table and a Customers table. To sync your invoices and customers, you can add a pipe via table rule or form rules. In this case, let's try it out with form rules. So we have an Invoices page and a Customers page. In the Invoices page, we have a form to add a new invoice, and in the Customers page, we have a form to add a new customer. In the Customers form, let's add a record rule to add a new customer each time a customer is created in Tadabase. So let's trigger the QuickBooks pipe and select the Create a Customer API call. Let's set the customer display name to a record value of the customer name in Tadabase. Let's set the primary email address to the record value of the customer email in Tadabase. There are other parameters you can set here, but these were all we need for our example. And let's save the customer ID to the pipe response of a customer ID. This is important because it will allow us to update, delete, or sync an invoice to a specific customer. Next, in the Invoices page, let's add a record rule that each time an invoice is created, we'll add an invoice in QuickBooks. So let's go to the Record Rule section, click Add New Record Rule, add the QuickBooks pipe, and select the Create an Invoice API call. Let's set the amount to the record value of the Tadabase record amount. And let's set the customer ID to the connected value of the invoice's customer ID from QuickBooks. Next, you can also set the item ID, meaning you can link the invoice to a specific product in QuickBooks. In this case, we'll use the default item ID, which is just sales, or sales is 1, which is the default one, or you can use hours, which is 2. So since the default is 1, that works for our purposes. Next, we have to save the invoice ID from QuickBooks. So let's set the record value of invoice ID to the pipe response of invoice ID. This will allow us to update or manage the invoice from Tadabase. Then click Update and Save. Let's preview the page. So let's add a customer over here. Click Add New Customer, and let's create a new customer. Let's just add a sample name. And a sample phone number. Customer ID will be automatically generated from QuickBooks and a sample address. And we see we have the customer ID. Let's check QuickBooks and we can see that the customer will be generated. And excellent, we see that the customer was generated. Now let's go to the Invoices table and let's add a new invoice connected to that customer. So let's set the date as today, and let's set the amount as $1,000. And let's choose customer and click Save. And excellent, we added a new invoice with the amount of $1,000. And in our QuickBooks account, we can check by our Invoices section. We can see the invoice that we just created. And there's lots more you can do here. You can manage the invoice, send the invoice to a customer, and request payment.